Oh, hi folks. Today I'm reviewing on another SpongeBob episode that I hate, which is House Fancy. So with that said, let's start. Cue the intro. Hello guys. This is Jonathan's Media Shack here again. Today I am doing a review slash rant on House Fancy, which is an episode from SpongeBob from season 6. So basically what the plot's about, it's in the beginning of the episode. It's the beginning of the episode. In the beginning of the episode of Squidward's house, Squidward is about to watch House Fancy, which is a program that showcases fancy homes as a host, Nicholas Whiffers introduces the episode's first guest. Then Squidward then gets a phone call from Squilliam Fancy's son, and he reveals that the guest is none other but himself. And Squidward then watches in complete disgust and anger at the same time when Squilliam shows up the various features of his house, which is several stories high and includes an elevator with a built-in hot tub, decorative toilets, and golden toilet paper holders, a garden on a rooftop, as well as a 130-foot sculpture of Squilliam's unibrow that consists solely of glided doorknobs. Much of Squidward's jealousy, he then calls Nicholas and tells him that he has a house that's actually more fancier than Squilliam's. Then Squidward realizes what he has done. Yeah, he actually realizes what he had done, and he needs someone to help by desperately trying to make his house fancier, but he lacks success of doing them. But however, he sees SpongeBob, the guy SpongeBob, that's Squidward's neighbor that annoys the living fuck out of Squidward 24/7. He offers to help, but with so many complicated results. And yeah, this is where it gets disturbing, guys. When SpongeBob tries to help, guess what happens? When the sofa gets into Squidward's toe, SpongeBob tries to pick it up, and then the toenail starts getting ripped out. Squidward's toenail. Ugh. Like, okay, we'll get to that later on. Like, why would they do that in a kid's show? Why? And yet, things go horribly wrong. Even when SpongeBob tries to help, he done fucks up. And makes the situation even worse for Squidward than what it was. Soon Squidward then hears a doorbell ring, and assuming that it's Nicholas, he tells SpongeBob to clean up this mess with a vacuum while he heads to the other room to dress his wound. It turns out that it was Patrick who needs to use Squidward's restroom to take a shit. Literally. Once Patrick leaves, Squidward's toilet crawls out of the bathroom and jumps into Squidward's arms, and then immediately dies. Okay, that's really stupid. And SpongeBob ends up sucking up everything in the house, causing the vacuum bag to increase in size and explode, destroying the house. However, then when Nicholas Withers comes across and sees Squidward's completely destroyed house, he views it was a work of abstract art and proclaims that his house is even better than Squilliam's. And the ending of the episode leads to Squilliam crying since he has lost, and Squidward is happy with the help of SpongeBob. That's basically what the plot is. Guys, this episode was just awful. It really was. There's so many things wrong with this episode that words cannot describe of how abysmal it is. Now, before I dive into the negatives, is there anything positive? Well, this may be a real shocker to you, but I would have to say yes. At least one good thing. What is it do I find it that is the most redeemable? Well, for one thing, Squidward had actually won, and Squilliam didn't. That caused Squilliam to cry, however. We'll get to that later on, how he cried. But Squidward, however, was overjoyed that he won. At least they made Squidward get his own victory at the end. That was really nice of how Squidward won at the end. At least Squidward had a nice ending right there. Yeah, that is the only good thing about it, this episode. Squidward winning and Squilliam losing. That is, and Squidward cheering as well at the very end. Due to SpongeBob's help. Yeah. Yeah, I actually liked the ending. It was of Squidward. It was pretty good. Squidward won and he's happy. How come that never happens oftenly? It rarely does that. So yeah. Besides the positive about this, there was only one redeemable one. Now it's the rest of it are bunches of negative things I have. First off, Squidward wanted to do something to impress Nicholas Withers, thinking that his house is more fancier than Squilliam's. However, SpongeBob decides to help, but SpongeBob just makes the situation even worse for Squidward rather than better. Like, oh my god. With the paint vacuuming stuff up, oh my god. SpongeBob wasn't actually helping at all. He wasn't even trying to help Squidward. He was just done fucking everything up and making the situation even worse for Squidward. Like, why? Why would they ever do that to poor Squidward? All Squidward wanted was to make his house fancy, not done fucked up. And thanks to SpongeBob, his house then explodes. But however, Nicholas Withers thinks it was creative of Squidward. Squidward should have hired someone else more capable than SpongeBob. SpongeBob wasn't capable of helping him in this episode at all. He was just done fucking everything up and making the situation even worse than what it seemed. And Patrick taking a shit, literally taking a shit, and afterwards the toilet comes into him and then comes to Squidward and it dies? Like, what the fuck? Who comes up with random shit like this? I understand this is a cartoon. Anything can happen in a cartoon, but good lord. I've never seen anything that stupid as that. I mean, I don't find this funny at all. I actually find it to be really stupid if you ask me. And yeah, shit jokes. When Patrick literally took a real shit and leaves, yeah, you get the picture. And the way Squilliam cries, oh my god, that was so annoying. He sounded like a constipated duck. Oh my god, his crying was so unbearable to hear. Like, shut up, Squilliam. Grow up and put some hair on your chest. And and handle it like a real man. I understand he's a fictional character, but come on. He really had to cry over that? He sounded like a constipated duck, if you ask me, when he cried. Oh my god, the way that Squilliam cried was so irritating as hell. And the worst part about this is Squidward's toenail. What the actual fuck? They think that ripping up a toenail out of Squidward's toe is funny. It's actually not. It actually kind of reminds me of an episode of Happy Tree Friends, if you ask me. This literally what it reminded me of. Despite me hating Happy Tree Friends, this is what it felt like to me, rather than a SpongeBob episode. Just like most of the episodes, like when Patrick peeled off his own skin, Plankton ripped off his own skin, the door of the chum bucket, when the guy opened it, ripped off SpongeBob's skin. Paul completely ate Plankton, and then Plankton that became digested and turned into a skeleton. Oh my god. Even when SpongeBob tries to get the pipes and the brain comes out, like, oh my god. All those disturbing images and disturbing scenes from SpongeBob. To be honest, all of these kind of reminds me of Happy Tree Friends. Yes, I know, I still hate Happy Tree Friends, but why? Why would you do that in a fucking kid's show? This is supposed to be a kid's show. It's not supposed to be Happy Tree Friends all over again. They had the balls to do that as well. My god. So yeah, that scene really reminded me of an episode of Happy Tree Friends. Same goes to the other disturbing SpongeBob images scenes. And overall, this was just a terrible episode. House Fancy is just awful. And for my final rating, House Fancy, it gets a 2 out of 7. Awful script, awful disturbing scenes. Squilliam's crying was awful. It was just an awful episode, other than Squidward's happy ending. So yeah, 2 out of 7. Awful. It's awful. Everything about it's awful. Except for Squidward's ending. And that's all I would like to say. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe to my channel, turn on notifications, and don't forget to send me your requests. This is me signing off. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a great day and peace out, y'all.